Governor, ladies and gentlemen, also from my side a warm welcome here at the headquarters of Swisscom in Bern. We're very proud to have such a big audience here, that the interest is that big to know how we deal, how we manage our vocational education system, and that's what we would like to show you during the next 60 minutes. We thought to have around 15-20 minutes presentation, some slides, not too much. And then we have exponents of all the roles, all the players that are in the system. We will present the people to you. They will give you some insights from their daily work and how they do it. But we are interested to have a dialogue, question and answer dialogue. And we can do that in the last part. But I also would appreciate it whenever you have questions, just ask, and we can have the discussion as soon as possible. For us, it's important that you get the informations you want to have about our vocational training system. As Stefan told you, it's called Next Generation at Swisscom, because this is our mission. Our mission is to bring the next generation of specialists into this company. And if I talk from we, I'm not alone, I have a whole team with me. As I said, there are exponents of each role. It's Julien Hautler here. He's responsible for a team called Talent Management and Promotion. He's responsible that we always get the best talents into our program, and then from the program into business. Then we have Daniel Gerber. He has two hats on today. Normally he is a member of the management team of Swisscom. He is responsible for new business and for innovation, but he's also project owner for apprentices, and that's the role why he is here now today. And he brought with him Benjamin Blattler. Benny is an apprentice, a mathematician in his fourth and last year of his apprenticeship. We have Stefanie Richter with us. She is a way up informatician apprentice. That means it's a fast track apprenticeship during 2 years. She is in her second year and her last year now. And we have Chantal Louardou with us. She is a vocational coach. Her job is to accompany the apprentices during their apprenticeship. And they need to be accompanied because we have a very flexible system. And we would like to show you and to explain you how we manage this. But first, I'll start with some numbers, not too much, about Swisscom, so that you know where you are and where we are. As Stefan said, we are the telco leader in Switzerland. These are the numbers of 3 quarters of 2015. We have during a year we have around 11,000 millions of net revenue, and we have the same challenge as many other companies. We have an increasing revenue, but we have decreasing EBITDA, so it's a cost scene that we have to manage. We cover more than 2.5 million of 3.5 million households in Switzerland with ultra broadband internet. That's more than 50 megabits per second. Maybe Daniel Gerber could tell you more to this, but I think we can tell that we are really the supplier, the good supplier here in Switzerland for broadband internet. Since a few years we are in the digital TV market, and we can say we are the market leader right now. We have 1.2 million customers now in this 3.5 million households of Switzerland. 1.2 million are digital TV customers of Swisscom. We have a mobile coverage in the best standard 4G, fourth generation standard. More than 98%, we cover more than 98% of the country. So for that we can realize that we have to invest each year a huge amount in our infrastructure. It's around 1.3 billion that we invest each year. And on the other side, we invest a lot of energy in our people, and we have a high commitment of 88% in the last employee survey. And these are the numbers that gives a little bit the horizon for our company. If you look at the branch we are in, and that's important to know because we have to build a system of our vocational training that fits in this branch and with the challenges we have each day. And if you look at the branch where we're in, the ICT branch, you see that at your own. I think some 10 years or 12 years ago, maybe, for example, if you went to a meeting room like this one, you had to look for a sign on the wall with an IP address, and you had to manually change the IP address in the system settings of your computer, and then you could go buy a cable into the net and take a file or something from a share. And this year, last summer, I was on a road trip in Switzerland with my kids, and they played thousands, no not thousands, but hundreds of songs. And then we stopped videos on their iPhones, on their smartphones, and I asked them, hey, how do you manage that? How do you deal with your memory? I just bought you the small iPhones, and they told me, we don't have this memory, we don't have this data with us. It's all streamed. It's all streamed. We were on a road trip through Switzerland, through valleys, over mountains. It's 98% coverage with 4G standard, and they just streamed it. For them, it's very normal just to stream all the content that they need. Another trend that we have, it's more and more the business models goes in the internet. I think also we see that in our recruiting team. Some 5 years ago, we did the whole recruiting for our apprentices manually. We had for 250 places that we offer each year. We had around 8,000 applications. That means 8,000 times 20 pages or something. A huge amount of paper that we had to deal. 3 years ago, we started with an online application system. We could manage it down to 4,000 just by taking the links out of the internet once a place was given. So now we have just 4,000 applications, and it's all online. And if I look some years in advance, maybe we got recommendation resulting from big data analysis, and we have recommendations for good people, for good young people that we can take as apprentices in Swisscom. Or the third trend, after everything always on internet-based, we are in a global competition. The Uber example, you should know it, I think. I think Uber, all over in various countries, the lawmakers, they are alerted, and they create new laws for finding a solution how Uber, it's a problem for the whole taxi business, and they even don't own a car. It's just a service. It's just a service in the internet. And all these trends, all these changes, that change a lot. All the business models are changing, and that's for us a big challenge to deal with that, to build a system and to organize the education system with all these changes. Our company was in each year, we have big reorganizations. We were divided in some companies and then brought together again, and we have to manage all this in our system. And we will show you how we do that in a self-dynamic system. And that was the perspective of the company. But if we go to the focus or the perspective of the apprentices, that's their mission that they have. They want to create their future. They want to create their professional future, and they want to start here in our company. And that's what we are doing. And our mission is, or we believe that it will be the people that makes a difference, that makes this company now and in the future successful. If you look at this slide, it's maybe two years old. These are the specialized competences of an informatician. So like Stephanie maybe. We see a lot of computer languages and competences, and I am sure this is not actual anymore. And this is the problem. As soon as these competences are written down, they are not actual anymore. That's one problem we have with those kind of competences. And the other is, you have always, through the internet, you have access to this knowledge. You find a tutorial, you find an expert, you can go to a chat, ask a question. Some years ago, you had to learn this and to know it and bring it when you need it. But now, today, young people, they don't know that. They just, when they have the challenge, they go to the internet and they find a solution and they grab the knowledge they need right at the moment. So that's the reason why we don't concentrate on this kind of specialized competences. Our goal is to concentrate on this kind of social and methodical competencies. I heard that you talk about 21st century competencies, and that's what we also believe. We believe that they have to learn the ability to solve problems, that they have to build an ambiguity to deal with different situations, that they have to deal with meetings, that they have to be reliable, and that's what we are concentrating us in our education. Okay, we have two major challenges or two major needs, as I said, to deal with this constantly changing surroundings that we are in our branch, and to encourage the development of those 21st century competences because of this decreasing half-life period time of these specialized competences. And we have found a solution for that, and the solution is market instead of plan. We work with a marketplace system. That means that we don't plan the apprenticeship of our apprentices. They plan the apprenticeship by their own. They come here to the company, they know where to start, when to start, and from this day on they are accompanied by a coach and they build their own apprenticeship. So now I think I have to stop and give the word to Julian, because he is the expert on that, and he will explain it to you how this works.
Thank you very much. I was already concerned that I wouldn't have anything left to tell you after trying to explain the system already. So what do we do another way, or how does our system look? We basically have three roles in between our system. They're sitting in front of you, if you will. We have some apprentices, of course. We have project owners, and we have vocational coaches. And I will talk about, I think, the next 5 to 10 minutes what the different roles should be or should do, and in order to ensure that the apprenticeship at Swisscom is a success. So what we are trying to do is really to put the apprentices in the driver's seat, if you will, so that they have to decide what they want to learn, where they want to learn it, and to really be responsible for their own apprenticeship. We have the project owners that are subject matter experts, like Daniel for IT technicians, for example, or software engineering, or maybe commercial jobs or sales. And they put in the projects they want to offer to our apprentices on a marketplace where the apprentices can go there and have a look at the possible projects that are available there, and then apply for a project there. And the third role we have is the coach, and the coach is really the coach of the apprentices, and is supporting them during their 3 or 4 years apprenticeship, and telling them, also ensuring the quality of the vocational training. Maybe we could get an apprentice that is a bit lazy and tries to figure out which would be the easiest projects to choose, and then the role of the coach would be to challenge the apprentices and to make sure that they don't only focus on easy projects, but also look for a challenge for themselves. So it's a lot of text, but I will just give you a quick overview. What are the pros and cons of our system? We think a really big advantage is that the projects follow the need of our business. So if, for example, we decide, or I hope we decided some years ago, to go into the cloud business, our apprentices will automatically have competences inside the cloud business, because project owners that work inside cloud applications will offer projects where apprentices get trained. On the other hand, technology or methods or tasks that we don't need anymore inside the business, there's nobody working there anymore, so no one can offer a project on that matter. So our system is regulating itself. Also, as Andre already said, organizational changes. If we sell some part of our business or buy new business, that doesn't affect our system that much that it would when we had a plan where we have to be sure, okay, we lose those projects, so where can we get new projects to cover those competences? The system there regulates itself. On the hand of the apprentices, we encourage independence and also confidence that they have to apply for the project. So project owners get, let's say, 10 applications of apprentices and can then decide which would be the apprentice that fits their needs or their expectations the most. And they can acquire their unique profile. So basically, when someone does a training as an IT technician, after 4 years, we can't really tell what they did during this apprenticeship, because the different projects they're visiting make a unique profile, always by respecting the rules and the laws that we get from the government to ensure the quality of training. But it doesn't matter where, in which domain they learn software engineering. It's important that they work on software engineering, but if it's in the cloud business or in some older or other technology, that isn't important anymore. There are also some downsides, I think. The employment after the training is more difficult to plan because we don't have standard CVs. So if someone asks us, okay, I need a commercial apprentice, do they work in finance, and how long do they work in finance, and what do they do there? We can't answer that question just like that and tell them, yeah, they work for sure 1 year in finance and they did tasks like this. But we have to get the CVs of all the apprentices and then check in the CVs how long and where they worked in finance. And of course, the project offerings depends on the support of our business units. So if our project owners decide from one day to another that they don't want to offer any vocational projects anymore, we would stay with 817 apprentices just sitting around and not knowing what to do. But we're really happy that this isn't really a challenge right now. It's more on the other hand that we have more projects than we can supply apprentices for. Okay, so as you see, the scale is clearly going to the direction that the advantages are more important for us. That's what we think. Quick, some facts and figures. I told you already the number of apprentices we have currently in training. It's 817. And the job profiles, just if you can't read it exactly, I think most important is to know that we have around 50% in digital job profiles like IT technicians, mediamatics, telematics, who focus more on the network side of the problem. And then we have a big share also in customer relation or customer services, as in the shops that we operate or in the call centers that we operate as well. So that's the biggest two parts that we have, and then some commercial apprentices for the business administration as well. If you look at the age structure, we usually don't show this slide, but I thought if we're showing that to someone or to people that don't really know vocational training as we do it in Switzerland right now, what's important is this red share. That's the apprentices that we employ that are between 16 and 20 years old. So 80% or more, if we even count those people under 16 years old, mostly 85% of our apprentices are under 20 years old. Then we have some exceptions, of course, that are a bit older, but you see the most of our business with apprentices is dealing with people that didn't really reach 20 years right now. Quick focus on the gender theme. As I think you expected when I told you that we have 50% working in IT or digital technology, there's a slight overhead in males rather than females, and we also operate in the 3 different language parts of Switzerland. So we have apprentices that have a mother language in German, French and Italian, mostly in the same distribution as you know it in Switzerland with the language we talk. How does the apprenticeship, I showed you these 3 roles, how does the apprenticeship really look like? If we take just an example to look at, we have this marketplace where all those projects are put in. So if someone starts at Swisscom with an IT technician apprenticeship, they would maybe start in customer support, where they get to know first the problems and challenges that exist when we're operating IT in our business. Maybe they could change into a project in web design, then followed by application or database engineering, and then all different tasks. But also what's important, that most of the projects have to be related to IT challenges because we have some regulatory and assurance that we have to be sure that they work really in the business. But as you see here, I also put in a project in retail maybe, so it's possible that someone that does an apprenticeship in IT at Swisscom would go to work for maybe 3 to 6 months in a shop and then learn face to face what the problems of our customers really are. And we think that's a really valuable lesson, because when they come back and then they develop mobile applications, they will know what the challenges of the everyday user of our project, of our programs and apps really is, and then benefit from that experience as well. But as you see, all those project owners that are maybe 10 different people that they will meet during 4 years of apprenticeship. And to be sure that they have a good coaching and that they always have the same person that they can talk to, we have the role of the coach that is responsible to manage and coach the apprentice during those 3 or 4 years of apprenticeship. So just to be sure that they have one person they can rely on. I put in also the different roles of the coach. It's mostly human resources responsibility as well as personal development. They support the apprentices. They make sure that the recruitment of new apprentices work. They train them while management by objectives, and so really put them into the work world and coach them during their apprenticeship. Now, I think a challenge that is really interesting for the decision if you should put in a project like that, or vocational education in general in an enterprise, is the question, is there a value added for a project owner like Daniel is? I'm sure you can ask him directly in maybe 5 minutes, but we just want to show you the small survey we did with some estimate values. So we have, and the apprentices also have 5 weekdays where they're working every week. And of those weekdays, they're usually 2 days at school. So we're left with 3 days. Of those 3 days, we estimate that roughly a third is a, let's say, productivity loss, because they're not experts, they're not professionals in the field they're working on. So they have a slight productivity loss compared to a professional or to an expert. So that's what you do mostly 1 day. If you look at practice education, that's training on the job, where the project owner really explains to them, oh, look at that, you have to work like this, and when this kind of task comes in, do that. So that's also roughly a half day. But that left us with 1.5 additional productivity that every apprentice brings to his project owner. If you calculate that this 0.5 days, he will have to talk to them, maybe there's 1 day left. But as I told you already, we have more projects than apprentices in our system, so we're pretty sure that even if that's a roughly estimate, we're sure that in the basement, just looking at the market, we see that this really works out, because we have a lot of project offerings in our system. And just to finish, what are, from our point of view, the advantages of our Swiss vocational education and training approach? One, and I think that's one of the most important points at all, is that we can hire candidates with really high potentials. I'm sure you will have the possibility to ask and to talk to Benjamin and Stephanie later on, but those are people where I'm sure they could have gone to university if they wanted to. But they really decided, and I'm sure they will tell you their reasons why they decided to go into a vocational training. And that's a point that's really important for us, because we can assure that usually you can follow then your vocational education and training by higher education. So just by choosing an apprenticeship, they didn't decide to never go to university, but they just decided to do 3 or 4 years of training before maybe going to university. And that allows us to hire people like them, and that people that bring a really high productivity inside the organization, because they have a really high potential. The second point is that we have the time of the apprenticeship, we have time to do, let's say, an extended assessment. We work with those people during 3 or 4 years, and then we can decide if we want to hire them on an unlimited basis in our regular workforce. So people like talents that we want to get inside our organization, we can hire them after this apprenticeship, and people where we thought after 3 or 4 years, okay, that's well, you showed us how you work and we're not really exactly happy with how you work, but maybe someone else in the market will hire you. But so that's for us, it's a long assessment process and a recruitment instrument also to get new people into our workforce. And the third and last point is that we can really influence the contents that are taught in business schools, in intercompany courses as well. So professional associations can decide what contents should be taught there. So me, for example, I'm a member of the professional association in IT. So all the challenges and the ideas we have at Swisscom and the expectation at IT technician education, we can address them inside the professional association that can then influence what and how it's taught at business schools and in intercompany courses. So this system is really open for the companies to work with. Okay, so that was a quick insight inside our vocational training system.